time by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Right now, 35.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. Illinois lawmakers are reintroducing legislation aimed at strengthening consequences for sexual assaults in schools. The measure is sponsored by Steve McClure, Jill Tracy, and C.D. Davidsmeyer. It would require a minimum of 1 year expulsion for any student who commits sexual assault or attempted sexual assault on school grounds or at school-related activities. McClure says lawmakers continue to hear troubling reports of schools failing to properly respond to sexual violence.
We keep hearing shocking reports from across the state about incidents where students have been sexually assaulted at schools. And some schools appear to be sweeping these incidents under the rug. Here's what can't be swept under the rug: the real pain caused by sexual violence and the real danger that a perpetrator of that kind of violence poses to victims, other students, and staff. The survivors of such violence deserve to go to school without fear of running into their rapists. Other students should not have to fear being the next victim. And the students who commit such acts should go to an alternative learning center, like a safe school, where they can get treatment and be around staff who can ensure that everyone is protected.
The proposal, known as Senate Bill 2991, is modeled after existing Illinois law that mandates a 1 year expulsion for students who bring weapons into schools. Davidsmeyer says the goal is to protect victims and create clear standards for administrators.
The reality of what we're doing here is we are protecting victims, right? It's much easier to sweep something under the rug and pretend something didn't happen, but it doesn't help the victims and it doesn't help the offender. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that victims are safe, that it doesn't happen again, and that the individual who offended gets the help that they need as well, so it never happens again. We need to make sure that this never happens again.
The legislation was introduced following an incident in McClure's district, where a young girl was sexually assaulted at school, but the attacker was not expelled. The victim's mother, Ashley Peden, says her family repeatedly sought court orders of protection to keep their daughter safe.
I stood here just last year with Senator McClure advocating for Senate Bill 98, which unfortunately did not make it to the Senate floor for a vote. So today I am here to reinforce this mission as Senate Bill 2991. Last year, I shared the nightmare that my family endured. My 10-year-old daughter was the victim of a week-long series of admitted sexual assaults by a 14-year-old student. These attacks happened on the school bus and at the school bus stop. When we presented the school with an emergency order of protection, we were promised a safety plan. For the sake of time, I will summarize the safety plan. It included nothing more than putting my daughter and her abuser on different buses and adjusting their schedules so that the two wouldn't meet in school or at the bus stop. The safety plan was shared with the bus company, my daughter's 5th grade teacher, and the office staff. Nobody else knew about the assaults. No one else knew of the safety plan. No one was keeping the students safe for future assaults to prevent from occurring. A full year has now passed since I first brought this to your attention. And in that time, my family's fight hasn't just been about healing. It's also been about the basic right to safety. Ultimately, it was the court system, not the school district, that provided a resolution. The courts have now ruled that this student is a sexual predator and a danger to his peers, prohibiting him from attending schools, riding public school buses, or being in the presence of any child under the age of.
Supporters say similar cases have occurred elsewhere, including Cook County, where another family says their daughter had to continue seeing her alleged attacker at school. The bill has received backing from the Illinois Coalition Against Sexual Assault, which says the measure would help schools better support survivors and hold offenders accountable. Senate Bill 2991 is currently assigned to the Senate Criminal Law Committee. The FFA chapter at Nokomis High School is busy with several events as part of National FFA Week. The chapter is also celebrating a successful school year so far with respect to competition results, higher level officer positions, and special initiatives. Levi German and Kinley Stolte are the chapter's president and vice president, respectively. They say the action began with a community breakfast on Saturday.
Today, we are obviously doing a radio interview. It's Camo Day is one of our dress-up days, and then during Study Hall Day, we will be holding one of our chapter meetings.
Yep. And also throughout the week, so like they mentioned earlier, we'll have another little get-together with our 8th grade members, just to kind of also involve them in FFA Week. Another fun thing that we do, and Kinley mentioned this earlier, we'll go to the elementary school and the Catholic school tomorrow to do an Ag in the Classroom lesson, which our reporter, Grace King, she's kind of in charge of running that lesson. She's done really well with that the past couple years. We do have a few other events upcoming as well.
Friday is probably our biggest event, most fun event. We have Ag Olympics, so we do like 3 to 4 different kind of competitions between the grade levels. We get the teachers involved, and it's a lot of fun. Our whole school loves participating in it.
German also serves as president of the FFA section his school belongs to. The section serves as a way to connect nearby chapters geographically.
So last year I served as a Section 19 vice president. This year I'm serving as a Section 19 president. So there's 13 schools in our section that our officer teams involved with and in charge of. So we help do like contests and chapter visits in the fall. We also host a leadership training school in the fall. And then as section president, I'm also on like the state officer team. So there's 31 of us on the state officer team. And we help like run conferences, camps. We get ready for conventions. We do a petting zoo at the barnyard. So it's really just a lot of activities, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Every chapter member keeps their own record book about their livestock. These documents are then used in competitions.
So record books, almost all of our members keep them, just basically about what they do at home. So mine's over animals, and it's over diversified livestock. So I do it over my goats, chickens, ducks, all my cattle, and then my beef breeding and my show steers. And I do over that, and I just keep records about every week about what I'm doing, what I'm breeding them to, everything like that. And then you compete to with their section. And if you win section, you go on to districts, and you have to do an interview, and it just keeps going on from there. And we've had 18 areas in our section won by Nokomis students. Mm-hmm. So that's really fun and a good accomplishment.
The chapter is also involved in an initiative known as Race Across America, in which participants lay wreaths on late veterans' monuments.
You can, get donors for these wreaths. We put them out on veteran graves in the cemetery to recognize, their dedication and service to everyone in our country. And a lot of FFA members, they all come out. It's completely voluntary. They take a Saturday out of their time. This year there was snow on the grounds, and they were still out there putting wreaths on veteran graves. So a really great service activity for our chapter during the year.
And it must show how really well-rounded and service-oriented the chapter is. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yes. Yeah. FFA in general is really big. Living to serve is part of our motto. So we take every opportunity we can. We've helped a lot in the community. When the library was moving, we helped put that up. And just in general, we love to be out in the community and helping people. And they help us in return, which is really great.
Marissa Carlock is one of the FFA chapter's advisors. She says FFA is about more than just farming, which allows more students to grow from their experience with the organization.
This is my 6th year at Nokomis, only school I've taught at and been an FFA advisor at, and it has been absolutely wonderful. So not only is it me, but I also have the pleasure of co-advising with Mason Fesser, and we've been together for 5 years. And we've just really been able to work together very well and build up a really strong program. Of course, all thanks to the students, we're able to do that. But, we've just really built it up and have a really supportive community behind us to be able to do that. FFA is definitely the biggest organization in our school. We have a lot of members and students involved. And we say it all the time, but it's not just farm kids. It's not just farming. Truly, there is something for everybody in FFA. And it just really gives a home to some kids, and they're able to get involved, in the school and in their community. So FFA really means a lot to not just those traditional farm kids, but to everyone in the school.
More information on Nokomis's FFA chapter is on their Facebook page. You can also learn more at ilaged.org. Marissa Carlock, Levi German, and Kinley Solti appeared as guests on the WTIM morning show during this National Farm Week. And now a word from Taylorville Community Credit Union.
Looking to save more and stress less? This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, we're here to help you build a stronger financial future with great loan and deposit rates, convenient locations, and service from people you know and trust. We're member-owned, member-focused, and proud to serve anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, or Shelby counties. Discover the credit union difference. TCCU is your partner in financial success. Member NCUA.
Taylorville Memorial Hospital will see a change at the position of Director of Hospitality. Christina Ray will assume the role on March 1st, replacing Becky Morrow, who is retiring after 45 years at Memorial Health. Ray will oversee teams focused on environmental services, food, pastoral care, volunteers, and patient experience. She has worked at TMH for 27 years. She currently serves as a manager of health information, medical staff services, and patient experience. Emily Bailey, interim president and CEO, says Ray's dedication and innate familiarity of the hospital's operations will help her perform well as hospitality director. Becky Morrow's final day is March 7th. She has been part of Memorial Health since 1980 when she joined the Food and Nutrition Services team at the Springfield location. She took over as Director of Hospitality in Taylorville in 2017, overseeing the build of the new kitchen, cafeteria, and dining room. She supervised multiple similar projects while in Springfield as well. Morrow says the highlight of these endeavors, especially that of the Taylorville location, is the relationships she has built. She adds that finishing her career in Taylorville is meaningful to her. More information on Memorial Health is available at memorial.health. Volunteer registration is now open for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS, a PGA Tour sanctioned golf tournament held at Panther Creek Country Club. Tournament officials announced that Country Financial will once again serve as the official sponsor of the volunteer program. Organizers are looking to recruit more than 500 volunteers to fill over 20 different committees for this year's tournament, which runs June 22nd through the 28th. As the presenting sponsor, Country Financial will support volunteers who help with a wide range of roles throughout tournament week. Officials say opportunities are available for everyone, from first-time volunteers and golf newcomers to longtime fans and returning volunteers. J.R. Early, district leader with Country Financial, says supporting community events like the Memorial Health Championship aligns with the company's mission and its continued support of professional golf in central Illinois. Volunteers receive several perks, including branded apparel, meals while working, access to the Country Financial Volunteer Headquarters, week-long credentials, behind-the-ropes access, and the chance to play the championship course during the volunteer golf outing. A limited number of junior volunteer positions are also available, allowing students to earn service hours. Early registrants will be eligible for incentive programs launching in March. Tournament director Kate Peters says volunteers play a critical role in tournament operations and help generate meaningful economic and charitable impact for the region. More information and volunteer registration details can be found at memorialhealthchampionship.com. Questions can be directed to Emily Canham at 217-670-2910. Illinois Congressman Darren LaHood's position on tariffs is different than that of President Trump. LaHood says he'd like Congress to take up the issue. His comments follow the president's move to impose 15% tariffs on key allies like Mexico and Canada. He says he would rather see strategic tariffs on adversaries like China. Under the law, the president can issue up to 15% tariffs for 150 days. At that time, President Trump would need congressional approval. LaHood serves on the House Ways and Means Committee. Illinois Consumer Group's Citizens Utility Board, or CUB, 350 Chicago, and AARP Illinois held a media availability on Wednesday to urge lawmakers to approve House Bill 4781 and Senate Bill 3497, the Utility Transparency Act. The groups spoke about what they call hidden expenses in their monthly utility bills while delivering thousands of petitions to legislators in support of reforms. 350 Chicago Executive Director Larry Coble says consumers he speaks to are surprised at what they are paying for in their bills. Supporters say the Transparency Act does not prevent utilities from spending money on these items. It only prohibits the companies from charging customers for them. 4 other states, Connecticut, Colorado, and Maine, well, those are 3 other states, have passed similar legislation in recent years. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 51-year-old Tammy Lynn Martin of Kincaid died February 21st, which was last Saturday. Visitation is this Sunday from noon till 2 at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Cremation rights have been accorded, and interment will take place at a later date. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 89-year-old Donna J. Henninger of Taylorville died on Monday. Visitation is this coming Monday from 10 till 11 at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Burial will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. 94-year-old Doris Long of Greenville, formerly of Sorrento, died February 18th. Visitation is April 18th from 11 till noon at Donald Wigan Funeral Home in Greenville. A celebration of life will immediately follow. Interment will be at Brown Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Donald Wigan Funeral Home in Greenville. 79-year-old Betty Fines of Owanaco died February 19th. Visitation is tomorrow from 2 till 4 at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Graveside services will take place this coming Tuesday at 10 at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 93-year-old James M. Wilcox of Pena died February 18th. Visitation is tomorrow from 11 till noon at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. And 88-year-old Sona Beavers of Taylorville died January 16th. A memorial mass will take place this coming Friday at 10 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Taylorville. Interment will be at Green Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and every hour as well right here on WTIM, your only local news radio. We're expecting a high near 68 today.
There's only one Central Illinois radio station that brings you the memories of the 60s and early 70s as you are cruising down the streets of your hometown. The dial position is 98.3 FM. The